Mouse P.I for Hire is finally here. It's a game that I've personally been waiting for about 4 years. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I've been playing it off camera, but trust me when I say it's a really good game. I recommend that you guys get it yourself if you can. Everyone seems to agree that this game is really good because it's sitting on overwhelmingly positive right now, which is good for any game. However, there's that one person. There's that one person that just doesn't like the game and then decides to shit all over it on the internet. And of course, I'm talking about IGN. Now, I'm sure you guys know who IGN are. The fact that they always make bad reviews. In fact, that Invincible one sits in my head rent-free. Hopefully they don't do that for the next episode. But yeah, their fucking reviews are just so dog shit that it could basically just be summed up as rage bait for like how nonsensical it is and just like how entitled their reviewers are. So they recently did one for Mouse. So I'm gonna be watching the review to see if it actually does bring up some good arguments or we're just gonna get our fucking nutsacks grabbed by IGN. So, before we start this, I just want to say, do not harass the guy that reviewed this game. He doesn't deserve to be harassed just because he spoke his opinions on a video game. Would I agree with them? Probably not, but it doesn't mean that we should harass this guy for his opinions. If he didn't like the game, he didn't like the game, whatever. But, holy crap, I bet it's not for a good reason. Also, I know Moist Critical made a video on this situation, but I haven't watched it yet, just so I basically don't copy anything. If I do copy anything from that video, that is pure coincidence. I didn't mean that. Anyway, let's watch this fucker.
You got nowhere left to run. I run toward the dream! A bright future ruled by big mice!
What bothers me, however, is how overly referential so much of it is. The world is full of mice, so everything is about cheese. Everything. A bad guy? He's a cheese-legger. Run into a lady mouse with a sultry voice? It'll be described as
Gorgonzola picante slapped on a mozzarella platter.
someone need to assure you they're telling the truth?
Swear on my mama's cottage curds.
This is charming initially, then it never stops. Everything is a reference to the fact that everyone is a mouse and mice like cheese.
Okay, I get your argument that it could be very annoying, like time after time after time. But the game is about fucking mice. Of course they're going to talk about it. Cheese is probably their second currency.
When it's not, instead it'll be a reference to an old cartoon, or the fact that this is a video game. I should have probably guessed the former when one of the first things I saw was a steamboat named Willy, but at least that and the reference-heavy power-ups are cute. Constant callbacks to classic films or other video games? Not so much.
I'm not really sure what your definition is on cute, because I would consider, like, all of these cute. Most of the time when they reference movies or games, it either fits the theme of the level, or the timeline of when the game is situated, which is the 1930s. Also, the footage that you're showing during this section just proves that you're speaking bullshit, because in this particular area, it's a reference to Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider. You basically need to collect these tombs and then put them back in their place, and then you get chased by a boulder. I'd consider that cute, considering that A, it fits the level that we're situated in because it's a movie studio, and B, it also kind of fits the timeline. Now, I'm stretching it here a bit because Indiana Jones takes place in the 1930s, like a few years into the future of when Mouse P.I sets, but you get what I mean. It's basically in the same decade, so not really sure what this guy's talking about here.
And it doesn't end there. A boss fight in the sewers? It's a literal alligator because of course it is.
Dude, you are in the sewers. It fits the theme of the level. What do you think you're going to be fighting? Other games have done the same thing. Resident Evil 2, Parasite Eve. These are games that come off the top of my head. So, what is the issue here? Are you saying that it's a problem that Mouse P.I does it and that it's not original? Because I swear to God, other games have done this and it fits the theme, so I don't know why you're complaining about this. Personally, I really like this boss fight because it encouraged you to use your movement.
The voice actors, led by Troy Baker, do an admirable job with what they have, but nothing in Mouseburg is allowed to just be. It has to be a mouse reference, or a literally cheesy one-liner, or a reference to something else.
Once again, I understand the fact that you don't like hearing cheese jokes all the time. Yes, I can understand that would be tiring. But when you say cheese jokes and one-liners is a negative, that's what you call building environment, aesthetic, and character. I know these games aren't quite similar, but you could point RE4 as an example. If Leon Kennedy wasn't constantly spurting out one-liners, I'm sure people wouldn't consider him as one of the greatest video game characters of all time, because the one-liners...
Where's everyone going?
Bingo?
And the actions that he does makes him an amazing character. So if Mouse had a silent protagonist or a guy that wasn't willing to joke, then I'm pretty sure that the aesthetic and the character development would go down.
It's hard to care about anything in Mouse P.I. for Hire because it never stops making jokes about everything. It just wants to remind you of other better things.
What better things? Like, seriously, genuine question, what better things? Because you and I are very different people, so what do you mean by better things? Better games, better movie, better media? Like, I don't understand what you mean by better things. As a reviewer, you need to elaborate what you mean by better things, because I'm not a fucking mind reader, I can't tell what you're thinking.
At least the shooting is better. This is the latest in a wave of boomer shooters inspired by old school FPSs like Doom or Quake, and it's a decent one at that. Throw in stuff like a double jump, dash, spinning tail for hovering, and a slide, and Jack's got some stylish moves when the bad guys show up. This ain't Quake, but it does feel good.
Okay, finally, something that we agree on. Yes, the shooting is really fun. It reminds me a lot of Doom Eternal, as in the gameplay where like you're dashing and jumping and you're gliding around. It's a lot of fun. It's very fun. It reminds me of Doom a lot with the aesthetic of Cuphead. That's why I love this game so much. So yeah, I agree with you, man. Finally, we can agree on something.
It doesn't hurt that all of it, from reload animations to random conversations, is rendered in an absolutely gorgeous black and white mix of sprite work and 3D models. The world building may be thin, but Mouse P.I. for Hire is still dressed to the nines.
Once again, another thing that we can agree on. Yes, the game has a lot of hand-drawn animation that is just absolutely gorgeous to look at. It's great to see another studio attempt what Studio HDMR did with Cuphead, because Cuphead is one of my favorite video games of all time, so just seeing another studio pull this off, like in equal terms of quality, is just amazing. Love it.
Weapons can feel weak, especially the shotgun.
Well, clearly this guy doesn't know how a fucking shotgun works, but in case you don't know, the shotgun, it does more damage when you're up close. In fact, I've killed many mice by going up close and shooting them in the head. Most of the time, it's an insta-kill. So I don't really think it's weak. I think it's just, not to be rude, but a skill issue. You need to go close to them. That's how a shotgun works. If you want a shotgun to provide results, you have to work for those results.
Enemies mostly come out of doors marked with a skull that you can't enter, robbing these areas of anything remotely resembling a sense of place.
I have a feeling people are gonna complain with me on this one, but yeah, I do agree with you on this. Like, I would rather the enemies spawn from the door that you need to go through to progress, or just like surprise attack you in the environment. So yeah, I do agree with you on that. I feel like the spawn doors are a bit out of place and they shouldn't be there.
Levels also really like to pull the "we're gonna lock you in a room and throw baddies at you until they're dead or you are" shtick a little too much for my taste.
Okay, I'm starting to genuinely think that this guy doesn't know what a boomer shooter is, even though he said that this game is a boomer shooter. A boomer shooter, the whole point of a boomer shooter is that you are locked in this arena and you have to kill everything to progress. That's how boomer shooters work. It's always worked like that. Doom Eternal does that, Quake does that, Ultra Kill does that. There's a lot of games that do that, so I'm not really sure why it's a problem that Mouse locks you into a room and expects you to kill everyone, because the whole point of a boomer shooter is to lock you in a room and kill everyone. That is the entire point of a boomer shooter.
Sometimes it feels like being at a show that's never quite bad enough to leave.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Just leave the show if you're thinking like that.
Others are so easy you could probably solve them by letting an actual mouse run across your keyboard.
You guys are the last people to be bitching about a game being easy, because the last time you guys found a game hard, it looked like this. Jesus Christ. Dude, looking back at this, holy fuck. This video is the sole reason no one likes gaming journalists now. Holy crap.
What I like less is the whole being a detective thing, mostly because I never actually got to do it. Any clues you find will be pinned to Jack's caseboard, and once you get them there, Jack will just intuit where to go. No work on your part required.
Look, I get what you mean wanting to figure out the crime yourself, but it's not really given to you. The levels is how you get the evidence, and you get more if you explore. So you are putting input. It's not being handed to you. But at the same time, I do see what you mean by that. So it's a very minor complaint.
That brings me to one of my major problems with Mouse P.I. for Hire. Jack Pepper is a PI who kills more people in a single mission than Philip Marlowe has in every book Raymond Chandler ever wrote combined. I don't care how corrupt the cops are. A private detective can't break into a police station and slaughter them en masse and then go about his day.
Oh my god, what the fuck am I listening to? So, let me get this straight. You saw the Steam page, decided to look at the gameplay video that's provided, and then you saw that it was a gun game, and then you decided to buy it, to do a review on it, and then to be like, I don't really like how I'm killing a lot of people. This is too violent. This is a detective. He should not be doing this. Like, that's your mentality of a first-person shooter. You don't want to be killing too many people in a first-person shooter. This is fucking ridiculous. You're the type of guy to go into an Italian restaurant and be like, I don't know, there's too much pizza. Like, of course there's gonna be pizza, they're the fuckers that made it!
Does that make for a more fun video game? Maybe. But it's bad noir and a worse detective tale.
So I saw at the beginning of the review that you liked noir, and at this point I'm starting to not believe you. Noir is meant to feature flawed, self-destructive protagonists. Most of them have guns, some of them do killing. So when Mouse does it, it's wrong? I don't understand that. Also, what the fuck do you mean maybe when you say does the killing make the game fun? You tell me! You're the reviewer! Why should I have to put the pieces together in a fucking review where you're supposed to tell me about the game?
In the story as Mouse P.I. for Hire references, violence is an unfortunate but unavoidable part of the human experience that shatters the people it touches. Here, it's just entertainment, and that weakens the whole concept.
I mentioned that I didn't believe you when you said you liked watching noir films, but I also don't believe the fact that you've ever watched a 1930s cartoon in your life. Most of the 1930s cartoons do feature violence or death that was entertaining. It wasn't gory. Well, sometimes it was gory, depending on what show you're watching. But most of the time, violence was very goofy. It was a very goofy construct, and more of a joke construct, as in realistic.
All of that makes a lot less sense after you've gone to Tinsel Bros Studios and single-handedly eradicated the mob hanging out there, all while doing a bunch of Tomb Raider / Indiana Jones / Conan the Barbarian impressions, as everyone says you should be an actor.
Okay, first of all, the characters that are in the film studio seem to not know that the mob is here, seeing as they're just going on about their business. And second of all, we are doing references to movies and video games because we are in a movie studio. For fuck's sake, get your head together, mate.
It's hard to buy into Jack as the regular guy who needs to gather evidence I'm told he is when he just wiped out the local police department, you know?
God, I feel like a broken record saying this. They are corrupt and trying to kill him. He's just doing what's right for himself and in general in Mouseburg. Also, what the fuck do you mean you know? No, I don't know. I don't understand you.
The police blockade. We sure went big on this one.
But once you do, all you'll see are the seams where disparate ideas have been fused together.
There's no fucking way. There's no no. Oh my god, nah. I'm done. Nah, fuck this. This is ridiculous. 6 out of 10. Oh my god, nah, I'm done. A 6 out of 10? Did you pull this review out of Satan's bunghole? A 6 out of 10. I've seen way worse games had a better score than Mouse P.I. for Hire. So, seeing as you've given this game a 6 out of 10, by the IGN scaling, that must mean this game was bad. Because you like to give 7s a lot. So, I don't understand. How did this game not get a 7? Seeing as you like giving 7 out of 10s a lot, I feel like it should go in the 7 scale.
For more, check out our reviews of Pragmata and Resident Evil Requiem.
No, fuck that. We're not watching the Pragmata or Resident Evil 9 reviews because this company can't review for shit. So anyway, that was the video. Yeah, it's definitely a video. This video stinks of poo. It radiates of shit. Holy fuck. This is a bad review. There's so much problems with it. The fact that he says that this game has too much killing, besides the fact that it is a boomer shooter, is absolutely mind-boggling to me. But once again, that's his opinion. If he didn't like the game, then fuck it. He didn't like the game. I can't change that. Personally, I loved the game, and I'm still playing it right now, and I still encourage you guys to buy the game. Anyway, that's it for me. See you guys.